So episode 9 of Foundation ended on a grim note. Terminus, the home of the first Foundation, the vault containing Harry, and a lot of people like Polly were wiped out when the Invictus crashed into the planet. We see people below watch as the Invictus falls on them, as Day, Hobart, Constant, Bell and Demerzel all watch from above. This is by far the darkest chapter in the Foundation as the second crisis approaches. In episode 8, Salvor asks Harry if Terminus would survive the second crisis, and he didn't specifically answer her. So I want to take a closer look at what might have happened with Terminus, but let's be honest, what probably didn't. As always, I'm Al, this is The Geek in Review. Thanks for taking the time to choose to watch this video, I really appreciate it, and if you haven't done already, please subscribe and leave a like if you make it all the way to the end. Now, the scene with Harry and Salvor is important because all this happened before Day arrived and the attacks on Terminus. This is how Harry knew to ask for Hobart, because Salvor told him the name because it happened in one of Gale's visions. And this sort of fact you might not notice and think that it's that important. Because Harry is a man who's prepared. In the vault, Harry knows now that there's a planet full of telepaths out there who can manipulate what you see. And he knows Empire is going to show up to Terminus at some point. So, telepaths that can control what you see, facing extinction. Let's just go back a bit and I'll remind you how Season 1 ended. They used the Invictus to fake a solar flare, making Empire think the Foundation was destroyed, so they could work in secret, and they'd done this for over 100 years. So maybe he's doing the same thing with the telepaths, maybe he's using them to show that the attack worked. The Foundation and the ship are destroyed, and Day goes back to being Day whatever. Well, maybe, I can see it happening and factoring into Harry's plan, because that ending was so grim. A lot of people dead, one version of Harry gone, and Day having the best PR stunt of his life. Another theory is, what if none of this happened after Day left the vault and it's all part of some hallucination? Well, again, I guess that's possible, but the thing that makes me think it's probably real is we see the destruction from a lot of different points of views. Days, Bells, Demerzels, so why shoot it all that way if it's just a fantasy? Also, we haven't seen Mentalics manipulate people on such a large level, so again, it's a bit of a stretch, but it's not impossible. But that would mean that Salvor and Harry and Gale would need to get a decent amount of Telm's people on board with the plan, and I don't see that happening after they killed their leader. Remember, as far as we know, all these people were on board with what Telm wanted to do. So again, not a no, but a big ask. But one thing about episode 9 made me realise that the show has a lot of characters. So taking a few out leaves room for the rest of the show to breathe, as well as introduce new ones over the course of the story. Just in terms of general characters that died in this episode, Polly, Galwin, the Vault, Harry were taken out along with the director of the Foundation, who wasn't a key part of the story, but, he was Constant's dad. So from a story point of view, it does make sense. Plus, Bell has said several times in the season that although the Foundation is a threat to Empire at the moment, it's not big enough to challenge it. And Harry doesn't plan to win the battle, he plans to win the war. He did say that he thought he was being lured into a trap in this episode, and when you think about it, the victory only cost a fighter pilot, yet one was Bell's husband, but in the greater view of the battle, Empire had 0 near losses and delivered a devastating blow to the Foundation and Harry. So if you're asking me to put my money on it, despite all I've said, I think the extinction on Terminus did happen. I think there's been enough fake outs this season, and I don't really want the show to rely on that as a device to tell its story. Everyone on Terminus is dead, Day and Demerzel get the PR day of their lives, and everyone else needs to recover from this going forward from the massive blow. The goal for Harry's plan is, remember, to save as many people as possible, and although this season it's been brought up again and again, Harry sees numbers, not people. So he'll have backup plans for this. So is this a calculated loss? Yes, as I said, he's lost the battle to win the war. And with one episode to go, we still have all the Cleon, Demerzel, Seraph stuff going on. So I guess that's the last episode is going to focus on that quite a bit. But despite what Goyer said in recent interviews, there is some people out there that think there's still some people alive on Terminus, or that it is all a ruse or a deception. But I want to know what you guys think, so let me know in the comments below. Is it a mentalic deception? Is it something else? Is it a fake out at the end of season 1? I love hearing your comments and I try to reply to as many as possible, so thanks for taking the time to post them. But yeah, very interested why people still think that there's going to be survivors on Terminus, unless there's a chance it's all fake, or is it? Also, the showrunner did say that everyone on Terminus was dead in an interview this week, so that kind of makes it final. But you never know. As always, I want to hear your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. And my name's Al. Thanks for watching.